We're rolling, right?
We are.
Okay. I'd like to welcome everybody to day 2 of this conference, which we've entitled Scientology, Enough is Enough. And hopefully by the end of today, you might have an idea why we think enough is enough. We're going to be talking about a few different things today. One of the things we touched on yesterday was something called the Scientology Office of Special Affairs. And it's very strange when people have never been involved exactly how much influence the Office of Special Affairs has on your life. We heard of a story where there was a delay in phoning the police when someone was found dead of almost an hour. That's because the Scientologists felt that their first call was to OSA, the Office of Special Affairs, to ask them how they should handle the situation. That incident is not a one-off, it's happened over and over again. Some of them have been absolutely heartbreaking. I'll just give you one example of a 10-year-old child who was left alone. There was a house fire at 2 in the morning, he lost his life. What's the first thing they did? They called the Office of Special Affairs. So this is the kind of mindset that the Scientologist has, and the reason for this is simply this. The Office of Special Affairs has a 2-part role to play. One is to protect Scientology at all costs, and the other is to promote what they call their social betterment activities. The two things don't even seem to go together. On the one hand, they're protecting them, and on the other hand, they're promoting these things. But they do tie in. One of the things that they do is something called the Volunteer Minister Program. Whenever there's a disaster in the world, volunteer Scientologists send lots of money in, and then they all head off to the disaster area. They went to Haiti after the earthquake. At New York Airport, I read this in one of the papers, I think, there were 70 doctors and nurses waiting for a flight to Haiti. John Travolta has a private jet. He flew from the same airport to Haiti with boxes and boxes of booklets. This is absolutely true. The Way to Happiness booklet is something that the Scientologists hand out. They do it in Dublin. If they hear a tragic event like a child suicide or teenage suicide, they infiltrate the area 2 days later handing out these booklets because they believe that these booklets are like some magic thing that if they stick it through someone's letterbox, the whole area suddenly calms down and everyone becomes sane and rational. Is that true? Maybe, I don't know. But the people in Haiti, after an earthquake, are in need of food, clothing, and shelter. The 3 basic needs. A Way to Happiness booklet. Can you eat it? No. Could you shelter underneath it? Possibly. Could you wear it and then eat it? I don't know.
You could wipe your bum on it.
You could indeed. And I think it would be good for building fires, I'd imagine. So this again is the Office of Special Affairs in Scientology that's doing this. I'm going to invite somebody up to the stage in a minute or two who has been out of Scientology effectively for 30 years, but has never spoken out until this moment. And the reason why? Fear. The Office of Special Affairs. The fear's gone for this person. He sailed into Dublin in a pirate ship, which I believe is called the Obscene Dog, it might not be. So I'd like to welcome Billy Drummond, Captain Billy Drummond, to the stage. Welcome to Ireland, welcome to Dublin.
Wow, I don't know if I need that microphone. They say I've got a loud voice.
Sit down, Billy, sit down.
No, I got to stand.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm going to sit if that's okay.
You do what you like. Okay guys, hi. Thank you all for being here. I'm a little bit nervous, as you might gather. I've threatened to do this for a long, long time, so if I break down in tears, I just would like you to forgive me. Yesterday, we heard about some of the tragic occurrences within the Church of Scientology Alliance. Very strong people, I wish I was as strong as they were, who stood up and who fought for their loved ones and their rights. Just their rights to be, their rights to judge, and their rights to have their say. Now, I first entered Scientology a long time ago, in the early days, when we were still classified as what they call founder members. Those of us who started this nightmare. And like everybody else, you know, I really believed that I was going to bring change. I was going to help to stop the wars and the religious persecution on the planet, and I was going to bring about change. And I felt really good about myself. I mean, I really did, you know. I mean, I was a young boy, yeah, with idealistic dreams. There's many others here from the same ship. However, after a short while, I discovered that these dreams weren't going to become a reality. And it's very painful when you're involved in an organization where your mother and your brothers and your sisters and your family are all part of the same dream, and you want to break away. And you find out that the only way you can do that is that you have to disconnect. You can't talk to them anymore, because if you talk to them, they come for their programs in the Church of Scientology. They're not allowed to study anymore, as long as you're on their lines. You are what is called en theta. Okay, that means that, you know, you're just putting bad vibes on their lines and it's not welcome. So, I want to touch on something here. I'm dressed as a pirate. Okay? Yeah. Okay, and I want to explain what this is. Now, in Scientology, we have a terminology, and I will explain it for those who don't understand it, and it's called a valence. And a valence, it's like a veil. It's something that you would adapt to disguise what you really are. You see, I'm not really a pirate, just as much as Scientology isn't really a religion. It's a goddamn valence. They hide behind this religious front, when they commit these crimes against humanity. They create suffering. Now, when I was a young boy, my mother abandoned me and my brothers and sisters in an orphanage so that she could spend all her money on her OT levels. She was the first OT6 on the planet, so she was the first person to attain these higher levels in the Church of Scientology, which is supposed to make her a great being, a more caring, a more loving. She was supposed to be the representation of the new world. She spent 7 years in prison for fraud, 4 years for bigamy, married 3 times and never divorced. All her money was spent in the Church of Scientology. Now, is this the representation of the true religion?
No.
Is this going to set us free? You know, Scientology tells so many lies and so many stories, and it never stops. I mean, I remember when they had the 5-year program. 5 years. In 5 years, the world will be clear. 5-year clearing program. 5 years later, the new 5-year clearing program. Yeah, let's go on with that now. Okay, in a new unit of time. Okay, it doesn't matter what we have done, but now in this new unit of time, no, it doesn't work that way. The end does not justify the means. That's not the way to save the planet. That's not the way to make our world better. Now, I don't know how many Scientologists are in here, or ex-Scientologists, but I'd like you to raise your hands. Any ex-Scientologists? Anyone who was involved in the Church of Scientology? And I want to ask you a question. When you first joined the Church of Scientology, what was your aim? Was your aim to make the world a better place?
Yeah, sure.
What the flaming hell happened? Look at the state we're in. We've got religious persecution worldwide, we've got civil wars, we've got bloodshed. Nothing's changed. The Church of Scientology in 50, 60 years has done nothing but fill its pockets with money.
True.
Nothing. Okay? I went to the Church of Scientology. Well, actually, I've been declared 3 times, so I don't know how you work that out. So I'm a triple SP, so I'll call myself SP8, just because, you know, okay. I first blew out of the Church of Scientology. I want to get down to the grit of this now. I first blew out of this organization in 1971 because I disagreed with something. But because I'm an eternal being, they gave me a 75-year leave of absence. Isn't that nice? Because that's the only way I can get out of the bloody CEO. Eventually, they agreed to the principle that I was fighting for, and I went back in. And they said to me, it was to do with the clearing program. And I wanted the church to admit that there were such things as natural clear people. There were naturally able people. They wouldn't have it. No, no, give us your money, it's the only way you can be free. No, 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 no. No, no, I'm free already. I don't have to give you my money. Right? Okay, so they agreed eventually that the natural clearing process was a reality. So I went in and I sat down and I picked up the cans on this e-meter, and they said, would you like to test natural clear now? Big smile on their faces, and I said, no. And the auditor went blank. Oh, okay, so what's going on? I would like to test natural OT. Okay? Because you've got to push the buttons, you know, I mean, like, okay, anyway, I blew out. And many years later, having been traveling around the world lonely and alone without my family, because regardless of what my mother's done, I love her. She's my goddamn mother, okay? And the pain that you carry, no matter what has happened, family is important. And the Church of Scientology does not recognize this, okay? And it's very painful when you see your brothers and your sisters. My brother Brian, who was the head of the Guardian's office for a while in the UK, or high up in the Guardian's office for a while in the UK, has been a Scientologist now for 50 years. Do you know how he makes his living? He goes to people like you, and he talks you out of your money. And he gets 10% of that money into his account. And he will bankrupt your business. He will chase you around the world. He will come to your place of work. He will phone you 20 times a day till he gets you to hand over that goddamn check. He will bankrupt you and your family, and he will go back to the church and get a commendation. They give them out, great big plaque, with your name, with a commendation for the ruin that you have just caused. This is a religion. This is what we call a religion. Now, I'm not as articulate as John. John has written a book, and he's far more adverse with the methods of the Church of Scientology than I am. That lovely lady there, her son passed away. My heart goes out to her. It pains me to see this. These people here have suffered tremendously. You have absolutely no idea the amount of suffering that has been caused. Now, we're here today to say one thing, and only one thing. Doesn't matter how much you know about this organization, doesn't matter how far you went in this organization, every single person who does their 10 cents worth will make up the dollar to crush this organization. Enough is enough. It goes on no more. It's got to stop. One way or the other. Now, I'm not a violent person. Okay? And I would be, honest to God, I swear to God now, I would be no happier than anyone in this world if I could find a peaceful solution to this situation and the Church of Scientology could do what it wanted. I don't care what they do. I'm not interested. Everyone has the right to choose their own way. If you want to believe that, oh, whatever they believe in, some of the nonsense, you can believe it. But if you want to believe that, that's fine. Believe it. That's okay. But if it's going to hurt somebody else, or they're going to disguise it with lies. Look, Ron Hubbard is a psychopath or sociopath or whatever. He's a liar. Everybody knows the history of Ron Hubbard now. It's come out. It's out. Now, you couldn't say this 30 years ago. You could, if I stood up 30 years ago and did this, I might as well sign my death warrant. That's how, I was so afraid of the Church of Scientology when I left in 1981, I fled to Venezuela and hid. My lawyer told me that if I wasn't careful, I would be in harm's way, physically in harm's way. I'm not going to say they would kill me, but I wouldn't put anything past them. I've seen them do so much. And I hid. And we're all here today, and in fact, Scientology in Europe is over. It's over. The Church of Scientology is over in Europe as we know it, as it used to be. It doesn't have the power and the will anymore. We can stand up and speak. We are protected now. The lie is out. The problem is, they don't care. They've got Latin America. They've got China. They've got places that have yet been unexplored. So what are we here for? We can't change what's happened, but we can stop it going on. We can stop this going on and continuing, somehow. And the only way we can do that is everyone has to stand up. Everyone. The Church of Scientology claims it sold 5 million copies of the Dynamics Modern Science for Mental Health, or whatever number. It has a current population of about, of members of about 60 or 70,000 worldwide. It's not a lot. And that's been sort of static for a long time. So what happened to those 5 million people? I'll tell you what happened to them. They're hurt. Because they believed in that salvation. And they wanted to change this world. Not just us few here. Those millions. And those millions of people had brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and cousins and mothers and fathers. And they've been injured. And the number is absolutely staggering. If you sit down with a calculator and you work out the damage the Church of Scientology has caused, it's not 100,000. It's not one. Everyone is important and everyone counts. Every child that is hurt, every family that is broken, and every mother that cries every fucking tear, it's enough. And it stops now, and that's all I have to say. You gave me half an hour. I can't do half an hour of this, because honestly, I'll... It's got to stop, guys, okay? Now, the only way we can do that is to unite. All of us. All the stories. There are a lot of suppressive organizations around this world. Everywhere you go, look at them. Smiling faces of Xavier. Yay! Look, the Germans are here somewhere. The French. There's the French. I'm actually a lifetime member of the Popes now. I've got my forever membership card. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to stand up. Okay? And we all have to stand up. We've formed a group, Pete and I, it's called SP International. SP International is to unite all suppressive groups, regardless of your capabilities. Everyone with a story, log on, join on, okay? Because the government's not doing bugger all, unless we mass in numbers. Because you write a book, or you tell a story, everybody thinks, oh, it's just that little person there. Or it's just that little guy over there. Right? But if we march in hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands, they have to move. They have to make a decision. This religion does not, or this cult, it's not a religion, they do not have the right to be exempt from tax status. They do not have the right to operate as a religion. They are a non-religious group, they are a cult, they're a business, and they're very, very dangerous. Okay? So it's up to us, everyone, to unite. All across the globe. South Africa right now, there's hell going on. Absolute hell going on in South Africa. Okay? Everywhere you go. But the frightening thing is, I escaped and I went to the Amazon jungle and there was a flaming yellow ship sailing down the Amazon jungle with Scientology paraphernalia for the Indians. Right? Now, you know, come on guys. You know, you think, look, this church has a lot of money. Or this group has a lot of money. I won't call it a church because I can't handle that. They have a lot of money, and it's not over. It's not over by a long chalk. Okay? They will fight. If they have to, they will get rid of David Miscavige and so interpose someone else if they have to. If we black in David Miscavige enough, he will have to eventually go, and somebody else will take over, and they will change the plan of attack, and it will continue. And it will continue. So the fight isn't over. I was asked yesterday, well, you know, if the walls are empty, why are you still fighting? If they're losing, why are you still fighting? Because I want to put the boot in and nail that coffin down. It's never going to be opened again, you know. I want to seal it and burn it. You know, I don't want this to happen again. This has to stop. And you hear the stories and they don't mean anything. You see them on the internet, you log on, you click a button, right? But it's not real, people. I cried last night sitting in here. I was in flaming tears, man. Okay? Because it is real. And it does hurt. And it is damaging. And, well, it's up to us the great Mr. McGee, Lady Di, oh Lady D, hello Dan, all of you guys, you know, I just asked for a raise of hands of Scientologists in here. There was 6 or 7. There's what, 45 people in here or something? So to all you people who are not Scientologists, if you're walking down the street and somebody says, hey, do you want a personality test? Run! Okay? Let it as fast as you can. Just run. Okay? Now, there are a lot of people who wear masks, and I think that might alter some people's perception of what's going on here. Okay? People are afraid of masks. In general, you know, they hide behind them. Well, I'm not wearing a mask. My name is Bill Drummond, and I'll stand here and they can fire away at will. Okay? They can fire at will. I'm not walking away anymore. I thank Pete for his courage.
Thank you, Billy.
For years. A couple of months ago, I went down, right into the ground. I've never been so apathetic. I didn't even bath anymore. My nails were long and dirty, my hair was matted, I lay there in my bed. I thought about all of this, and my wife just left me, and we've been together 25 years, and I haven't seen my kids for 2 years. And I logged on just to have a sneak peek at what was going on, and this bastard, he saw it, and he went, hi, Captain Billy D. He's a sneaky bugger. And the love and the flow of energy and the friendship, even because he knew what I was suffering. And the, you know, empathy, understanding, okay? And he said to me, come to Ireland. And I said, oh, I'm really not up for meeting people or anything. And I hung the phone up, and I thought about it. And then I saw the program, Enough is Enough. And I got on and I said, I haven't got any money, but I have to walk on goddamn water, I'll get there, because this has to stop, and enough is enough. That's all I have to say, guys. I don't know who the next speaker is.
That's okay. I'll
So
sort that out.
International. Thanks, guys. I love you all.
We love you.
Thanks, Billy.
Also, coffee. Oh, if there's any members of OSA here, welcome. And I hope you get the message loud and clear. We ain't moving.